Okay, my sisters fans, let me just quickly review last night's episode. Now, let me just squeeze this in here real quick. I have not posted in a few days because I was sick. I had COVID, but nonetheless, I am just gonna start off here because I feel like the last episodes 7 and 8 were I'm sorry, 6 and 7 were just okay. So it's nothing that was really missed on that I need to review. I'll probably come back to certain parts of that episode 6 and 7 throughout this review right here for episode 8. Episode 8, people, was very good to me last night. It was really good. Um, I enjoyed the Penelope part. They kind of do a little bit, have it all over the place a little bit. I mean, I don't know how you could be all over the place a little bit, but yeah. Um, I think it was all over the place, just a tad bit. I am so over Hudson. Is Hudson in love with Gary? Is that gonna be a plot twist there? Cause I am confused. Why is this man so invested and so angry at the women that Gary has been with? Like, I don't know why the writers have him so. It's giving. I may be in love with you. You guys know what I mean. I don't know. So we got Penelope who pops up at the hospital. First off, people, how in the hell did Penelope know what hospital Gary was in? I'm sitting there thinking, like, who gave her the information about where Gary was at? And if the last anytime thing we saw it just was Penelope with first day here, Detective Watts, and she was in hiding. And even if she did go stab Gary, how did she know what hospital he was in? He says he's in. I don't know. That's something to think about, people. But you're interested? Yes. So the episode starts with Penelope and Hudson going at it. Well, first off, it starts with Hudson getting the information from the doctor to see how Gary is doing. Gary is making a full recovery like we all knew he would, because I knew they wasn't gonna remove Gary from the show. So he's making a full recovery, and Hudson is now talking to the doctor. The doctor informs him that Gary will be okay and he'll make it through it all, and we bypass that. Who pops up? Penelope pops up telling the doctor that she is Gary's fiance. The doctor is confused because he's like, what happened to basically Andy coming and saying she was the fiance? So I know the doctor is just like over the whole thing. The doctor leaves. Again, Hudson is going off on now Penelope. I'm like, this guy, what are the writers trying to do with his storyline? Because he didn't seem that obsessed when we were watching him when Gary was around, like up and around. So I'm not sure what they actually trying to do. But he gets into it with Penelope, as we see. But Penelope gives him all the smoke back, and she walks off. Then you got Andy, who then pops up, and him and Andy goes at it again. And that's is exhausting their little battle backwards and forwards. But then Hudson says he realizes that maybe, well, he tells Penelope first that he realized maybe it's not Andy like that. Maybe it's you. But then when Andy comes, he has the same energy for Andy. I'm like, wait, what? Anyway, Penelope now here's Andy over here. Andy talking to Hudson, saying that Gabby is her man. So now Penelope pops off when Andy again, well, not years, pops off, but they get into it again. Now my whole thing is, people, why is Andy always explaining to Penelope? First off, Penelope, you know how Gary is. Gary is the one that pushed you to the floor. You done lost a whole baby. why is she so mad at Andy? Like she does not know exactly what was going on with Gary. And she even knows that Gary is basically obsessed with Andy. So if you know he's obsessed with her, why do you think that she's in cahoots with him? That is the writers are not really making that much logical sense. But I mean, I guess maybe they'll change it as the time goes on. So their part is again, people they go backwards and forwards. Then we move along to what was up next. We got the whole was Karen in this episode? Yeah, I guess yeah. The whole Karen and she tries to go to she goes to Sabrina to talk to her about helping her portfolio for Miss Marie so that the ladies can keep Miss Marie as an investor. So I that part was really quick. It wasn't really nothing to it. I noticed that they're taking the attention away from Karen and all the drama and putting it now on Andy. So now it's all about what's going on with Andy, which I guess they felt like people were tired of the situation with Zach, Fatima, and Karen. And then on top of that, Karen still didn't have the baby. I'm going to need for these writers to let that pregnancy go before season 8 ends. I mean, maybe not the first half of season 8, but the second half of season 8 is no way they could keep Karen pregnant. Like, come on now. This is ridiculous. They will definitely start to lose viewers, because we are so tired of seeing her pregnant. Like, what is it? Let her have the baby, or what's the next steps afterwards? I'm not sure people about the whole pregnancy and the babies being on the show because there is no other kids on the show except for Michael. And you see how rare they show Michael. Like he has a few scenes on the show. So I'm trying to picture there being babies and how the storyline is going to pan out with that whole thing. But she goes to Sabrina. Sabrina helps her with everything and with the helps her with the portfolio for her business plan and straightens it out for her to help her with Miss Marie. Then we scoot over to Danny. Danny is now talking to her therapist. Now, this is the thing about Danny. If they don't give Danny a whole nother storyline where it shouldn't always be about Danny, like the therapist was telling her, Danny smoking and drinking and having sex with people, like that is just exhausting. I would like to see Danny in another light. I love Danny. I love her. She's hilarious. I like her character. I think she's super funny. I would like to see her back in their friendship with Zach again. That whole dynamic was really good on the show. I loved it at the beginning because them two together used to have me cracking up all the time. So I would love to see her spend more time with Zach in some type of way. I don't know how they would maneuver that in there, but I would love to see her spend more time with Zach because I like their friendship. As far as her getting through these therapy sessions, I think that they're on the right track when it comes to her then showing us how she's going through therapy. But I'm gonna need for her to stop, always not giving up on a relationship just because it doesn't go her way. Like it almost seems like they try to portray her as the person that needs everything to be done in the way that she sees it. But a relationship doesn't work that way. You have to compromise. And Danny doesn't know how to compromise. Well, let me just take that back. She does know how to, I think she does, but it's after she has already like just made everything a big problem. You know what I mean? If it's not her way, then the man would see it like, all right, if it's not her way, it's no way. So she needs to like work on that and see her fault in some of the things that she does in a relationship. I know sometimes she's scared and it's like commitment is really hard for her because she always wants to run away. So she do need to work on that. Then we go to our favorite couple, sexual Zach and Fatima. They had me. They're talking about. They had me cracking up. Zach is hilarious. The way that they have them investigating this and Gary stabbing is really really cute. I was cracking up off of their whole scene. And now that Zach will be following Hayden, I know it's going to get crazy. I know it's going to be funny and it's going to be some crazy parts that's going to happen. Then we go to, let's just pass by that and just hit right to the end because I have been talking for a minute now. I was trying to make this under 5 minute video. But then we get to uh, um, then we get to after Zach and Fatima, then we get to the part. Oh yeah, then we get to the part where we go back to Andy, who is now in the hospital, and she gets to see Gary. She goes in, she starts talking to Gary, and Gary fake behind. Now y'all know damn well Gary does not have amnesia. When he, I don't believe it. I believe he's pretending to have amnesia because he knows that Andy, what? He knows that like so yeah, Gary does not have amnesia. I don't, at least I don't believe so. I think that he is trying to convince Andy that that Penelope. Well, once he seen Penelope, I think that's the reason why he tried to play it off to make Penelope believe that he doesn't remember what she did, because I think he has some kind of he wants to get back at her as well. So you know how Gary, y'all guys know how they have Gary characters. So I think that he's just pretending to Penelope and he wants her to believe that he really doesn't remember her. He doesn't remember if she did anything to him or not. So that's he's just playing that off because how in the hell does he remember? Don't remember nobody else. The Andy? Nah, no way. So we're gonna see how that pans out. Like again, like I said, I do not believe that Gary it does not remember. Like he got sad. Why in the world would he not remember? Why would his memory be gone? It could be reasons why. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. So yeah, again, I definitely don't think he does. But then we get to the last part where we see Jordan talking to Penelope, and it's I don't want to say he accuses her, but he says that oh yeah, just like when you stabbed Gary, but I don't think she did. I think that when you look at the clip for the next episode, you see her you hear her saying, "Well, I think I might have done it." If he knew for sure, why would she be saying might? Yeah, not really making sense. I think that when Jordan found her, it was blood all over her. Maybe somebody hit her in the head and then ran off when she came in there, and that's why she don't really remember what happened. When it came to the stabbing of Gary, she just had blood all over her. Maybe she got hit. Maybe somebody was in there, hit her in the back of the head. She falls out. She sees Gary. The blood is all over her. There wasn't enough blood that for it to be all over her, but Jordan says she had blood all over her. So, and I think that once they heard Andy coming, they had to run out of there. But like I said, if you take a look back at my last a few, I want to say 2 or 3 reviews back, I talked about Andy seeming like she seen somebody else in that room behind a door that was in there. And I think Andy just played it off like she didn't see them, but she know that they were there. They was there. So that's what I believe. I believe that that whole thing was Andy just pretending when she did that fake scream. She was just playing it off because she was actually happy that Carrie was, was going to be leaving her alone. So I think that we'll see exactly what happens on the next episode when it comes to that part. But again, do I think Penelope did stab Gary? I don't think she did. But we'll see how that pans out. I would like you all to like, share, and subscribe. Click the notifications to get the notifications on all my reviews. My next review tomorrow will be on Love and Marriage Huntsville. New season 11. Wait, is this season 11 or season 9? No, I don't know, but I'll be reviewing that tomorrow. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for listening. And leave a comment with your thoughts and your review on this episode. Stay.